This entire space is under 2 by 3 meters, and I have to run my print business, my client work, film all my YouTube videos, and also make it an enjoyable hobby space. So everything in here has to work really hard. I've had to figure out actually what deserves space in here, what works, what doesn't, and how to set it all up so that it flows easily and doesn't make my life hard. It's all about making a small space work for you, and whether that's for creative hobbies or for a small business. Today I'm going to show you a full tour of my small space and show you exactly how I make it work for me. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Danielle. I am a small business owner, a creative space owner, and this is my YouTube channel. It's where I share crafty how-tos, printing tips, and also take you along to show you exactly what's going on in my small business life. I do all of this working from home in a very small garden office, which I know I am incredibly lucky to have, but it hasn't always been this way. I started off in a small bedroom, so over the years, I really had to hone down on what works and what doesn't. If you like crafty content, definitely subscribe, hit the like button, and you won't miss a single one of my videos. Over the years, I've learned the hard way that if this small space gets messy, I stop using it properly. I end up avoiding projects, things always take longer, and everything just feels harder than it should. So keeping it clean and organised isn't about aesthetics, it's what makes the whole thing actually work. This isn't just a craft room, it has to handle designing, printing, assembling, and also my businesses aside from this, such as client work and admin for my dental nursing agency. So instead of setting it up by areas, I've actually set it up around how I actually work day to day. This long worktop is my main assembly place. As you can see, it stretches from one end to the other and it is multifunctional. On one side we have all of my cutters and on the other we have the great big bank of printers. Above we've got all of these wonderful cupboards which are perfect for storing all of my supplies, and below we have Kallax which I use to store most of my materials. If it's not easily accessible and easily in reach, it doesn't get used. A big part of my business is printing. That's why we have the wall of printers. Everything has to do a specific job. I don't have any space for printers that aren't pulling their weight. So from the tippy top, we have my address printer. It's Zebra, which I picked up secondhand from eBay. I then have my Brother label printer, which used to be my address label printer, and it's now used for gift messages. Next up, we have my Brother black and white toner printer. This is the one that I use for foiling. And lastly, we have my Canon IP8750. This is the workhorse of the group and it's where all of my designs are printed before assembly. So in my small workroom, storage is really important. That's why you can see my desk is not only on risers, it's also got a Kallax 8 unit on its side underneath, and this is where I store all of my printing materials. So if we go over from this corner here, we have got all of the actual cardstock that I use either in A3 or A4. This section here has some of the more specialist items like transfer paper, super smooth black foiling card, printable acetate, and even tattoo paper. Over on the end, I try to organise what I'm planning to use for this month's YouTube content that I have worked with Paper Cutz for. So this all fits quite nicely into this end box. In all honesty, this is probably one of the most important areas of my entire setup. Everything is grouped together, everything is organised, and it means that I can reach for it when it's needed. One of the reasons that I use Paper Cutz for all of my printing is because they offer consistency. Now, I have used dozens, if not hundreds, of different stockists of cardstock over the years, and one of the things that let most of them down was consistency. I might get a good batch, and then the next time when I went to order, the print quality was off, or there was issues with marks on the paper or cardstock, and it just meant that it was doubling my workload. In a small space like this, I don't have surface area for any materials that aren't going to pull their weight. And with Paper Cutz, they not only save you time, they also save you space. If you're reaching for their items, then you know it's going to be the same consistency, high quality output each time. They're UK based, everything comes directly from their warehouse. So if you need something quickly, you know you're going to get it. There's no sneaky imports that's going to take days longer. than buying from the UK. They not only have a great big huge range, but they also cater for a wide variety of people, from crafters to small to large businesses and even schools. If you're after something reliable and materials that are sure to work, as demonstrated week in and week out on my channel, then definitely check out their website and I'm sure you'll find all kinds of goodies. I helpfully link all of the materials that I use in each week's craft so that you can buy from them directly. And as I always say, I have been using them personally long before they even heard of me and my channel since 2013. Now that's an endorsement. I can personally attest to how lovely the team are as well, and I've had wonderful viewers reach out to me to tell me just what a great experience they've had when asking questions with Paper Cutz directly. So if you have a project and you need some cardstock, definitely reach out. I'm sure they can help.
Now, obviously, you shouldn't have favourites, but I cannot resist the Paper Cutz mirror and holographic range. The way they are so vibrant, reflect the light and look fantastic on my cake toppers really does seal the deal. And a very close second has to be their black super smooth cardstock that I use for foiling. I love the effect that it gives. In fact, I loved it so much I used it for my 40th birthday invitations.
Now this is the space that I probably spend the most of my time, whether it's starting some complex designs over on Affinity Designer or working with my clients day in, day out, then it's usually at the computer. However, if it's something a little more hands-on, then I will work on the back worktop because I like to be able to draw, spread out, and I've usually got YouTube playing on my tablet. After the design stage, it's obviously time to finish or assemble. So in the corner here, next to my desk, is my heat press. Now this slides out, it's on a nice felt mat to make it easy. And you may have guessed this is another Kallax. This one's just a 4-unit Kallax, and it butts right up to the 8 one underneath the desk, just again maximising space. Now underneath here, there is a hidden 2-cube part of the 8 Kallax, which I can only access by sliding this out. So I put things in there that I don't really need that often, such as tax returns, bills, and things like that. When I worked on this full time, I actually had 2 heat presses, but now that things are a bit quieter and I'm mainly focusing on YouTube, I just need the one. So I obviously have my cutters on this side and they are connected to the PCs by USBs. This one is technically wireless, but it likes to be temperamental, so every now and then the USB cable needs to come out. This one is not wireless, my Silver Bullet, and it is the 2 cutting machines that I use for all of my designs. This one is fantastic for cutting thicker materials, and personally I feel it has a greater accuracy than my Silhouette Cameo. These just roll out so that I can pop in a cutting mat and cut, and I'm sure you've noticed that this one is slightly raised, and I have just used a monitor razor for that, so it sits slightly above the Cameo. Again, doubling up wherever we can. The workspace here is absolutely perfect because obviously assembly takes space, and having this here means that it is dual purpose. I have a cutting mat because it means that I can easily line up things, and it also protects the worktop. Now, this section is my sewing section, and in truth, it takes up a lot more space than it rightfully should in an area where space really is at a premium. However, there's a really good reason for it. I have learned from bitter experience that when all I do is create for output and profit, I quickly get burnt out. I need to have creativity in my life that is just for fun and just for me, and sewing definitely fills that void. So I get that it's definitely not the most efficient, but in my opinion, it's the most important. So I believe that when you're planning out your small space, it's vital that you have an area just for this that isn't going to be capitalised. It is just for fun.
Another thing that's really important to me is keeping this space as inspiring as possible. That means filling it with artwork that I love, that's made from my own designs and from other artists that I really am inspired by.
Now, I didn't start out like this. I know that I'm incredibly fortunate to have this amazing space in my garden to work from, and I know that this isn't typical. Believe me, I started in a tiny little area. I used to get everything out at my dining room table, and then eventually I converted a room into our house to be able to work from. But then TBT Junior came along and everything had to be rethought. And I could no longer fit everything into the large cupboard in the spare room, as that had become the nursery. So the one tip that I would give you when starting small is that you don't have to go all in. Have a look around your home, see if there's any furniture that can be utilised. Now, as I'm sure it's obvious, I love a Kallax. They are fantastic and they are also multi-purpose. So definitely try to think outside of the box. I've used them underneath desks, I've used them to support worktops, and I've also used them to build on top of. There are so many wonderful resources out there, you just have to look. Definitely scour your Facebook local sites, or even if you've got one, a free cycle. People are always giving furniture away, and if you've got a little bit of imagination, then you can definitely convert it into something useful to make your space perfect. So I really hope this has been helpful, and maybe it's given you some ideas. Drop a comment down below and tell me all about your small space that you like to create from. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Paper Cutz for sponsoring today's video, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye.